in the midst of the women's Moto number 2, stop number 6 on the Budweiser Watercraft Series Tour. And Christy Carlson is our current leader. While we were away at commercial, she overtook Ashley Hollenbeck, as did Tara Lejo.
As I mentioned a moment ago, Christy Carlson, I figured she'd be going all out. That is exactly what is happening. She is on the gas today, trying to make up for that first moto. What we have is Ashley Hollenbeck out in front, Christy Carlson in hot pursuit. Christy shaving off a couple of feet every turn. She was on a good line on the inside there. Made the pass on the outside. Ashley caught the wake and went down. That allowed Tara Lejo to close the gap. Christy Carlson, meanwhile, out in front and starting to pull away.
Christy Carlson gets the smooth water, and Tara Lejo takes advantage of Ashley Hollenbeck's mistake as well, as she gets dicey with her on the inside with that patented foot drag. She goes around her, leaves Ashley Hollenbeck in her wake. So that's where we stand now. Christy Carlson, Tara Lejo, Ashley Hollenbeck, Michelle Baynes, and Jill Orton.
And Tara Lejo, Christy Carlson, of course, the focus of the race. That is the points battle for the overall national championship. Here we are as the battle for third and fourth. Ashley Hollenbeck goes to the left of the split. Michelle Baynes now on the right-hand side of the split. This is going to be real interesting because as the race progresses, the conditions change. There's a lot of strategy involved here.
And it looks like Michelle Baynes made the wiser decision as she goes to the right, and that allows her to pick up third place. Ashley Hollenbeck having all kinds of problems today. Hopefully she'll be able to recognize that mistake, choose the right-hand side, because that seems to be the fastest side. Meanwhile, let's get a good look at Christy Carlson on the Butch's Kawasaki, the number 1, and that's where she sits right now in first place.
Christy Carlson looks much better under control now. She's got a bit of a rhythm going, and you can almost be guaranteed that she is not going to have any kind of brain fade in this race.
Definitely. In basketball, they call it being in the zone. Christy Carlson is in the jet skier zone right now. Very smooth, very controlled, as we get another look at her from Bud 1 Airship, and she looks good today, Larry.
That's right. In fact, I found that in racing in the past, that you have a little problem earlier today. Sometimes that'll just make you focus that much harder, and that is what it looks like Christy Carlson is doing right now. She looks very focused.
Meanwhile, speaking of having problems, Ashley Hollenbeck, after getting the whole shot, has dropped back to 5th place. So, again, like the last race where she got the whole shot, she got overtaken. I don't know if it's psychological rattles or what, but she's a great rider, but she's had her problems here today, and she's moved back into 5th place. Here is our current leader, Christy Carlson, followed by Tara Lejo, Michelle Baynes, Jill Orton, and Ashley Hollenbeck. And Christy Carlson continues to lead. She's moving up on lap traffic as we get another great shot from the Bud 1 Airship, courtesy of Rick Lloyd on the camera. And this is great conditions out here in New Jersey.
And one of the most enthusiastic crowds that we've seen on tour all year long. On the final lap, Tara Lejo in 2nd place with her work cut out for you. Christy Carlson well out in front right now.
Christy Carlson from San Diego, California, the defending national and world champion with the number 1 on her boat. As she makes the last few turns, Christy Carlson will take the checkered flag in Moto number 2. We get a good split between her and Tara Lejo, and it really tightens things up in the point standings.
It sure does. In fact, Tara Lejo has gained a lot of points now on Christy Carlson. 2nd place in this race, first in the first one. That'll give her the overall win. Michelle Baynes, a strong ride by her. Christy Carlson, disappointing 8th in the first race. A win in this one, not one of her better days.
It's now time for this week's team profile with Team MSD.
I think MSD, what makes them so different from everybody else is we're constantly testing product year-round, and they've got the new products in development coming out, and what we do is we test the products on the boats that I'm racing. So I'm kind of like taking my chances out there when I race, and it works out really good.
Testing is the name of the game. We like to be one step ahead of the competition. We're constantly developing new products. Guys back at the factory doing a tremendous job, constantly working on new products, trying to get the best thing out there, and testing's the name of the game. You've got to get it out in the water, test it, make sure it's running right, and get it out to the public.
Right now, they're real happy with the way things are going. We're climbing the ladders steadily, and hopefully we'll have the number 1 slot here within the next year or 2.
MSD is rapidly becoming an industry leader of innovative ignition designs. And now let's take a look at the final standings of Moto number 2 of the Pro Women's Race. Christy Carlson taking the win, Tara Lejo in 2nd, Michelle Baynes, Jill Orton, and Tammy Saracen rounding up the top 5. And our Todd Harris is down with today's winner.
Christy, congratulations. Big win today in Moto 2. What was the key to your victory?
Definitely determination. After that first moto, I wanted to win so bad, and I was going to do whatever it took. And I had the outside line on the 10th position on the starting line, which gave me the only option of being outside around that first turn, which turned out to be the best place to be because it was pretty messy on the inside. And I just skated around all of that. And Ashley got the killer hole shot, and I just followed her and rode my own race until I found a good opportunity to pass.
Now, you've had a few sporadic engine problems in the past. Today it looked like everything was dialed in on that second race.
I'm really pleased now with my Kawasaki, Butch's jet ski. Bill Chapin, my mechanic, has been turning wrenches on it nonstop, and we're starting to find a combination that's working for us, so it's more fun out there.
All right, congratulations. We'll see you next week in West Virginia.
Thank you.
And so the overall points battle in the pro women's class looked like this. Christy Carlson and Tara Lejo now tied with 210 points. Michelle Baynes, Dawn Wood, and Tina Martinez rounding up the top 5. And coming up next, the Prime Cup Sports Modified Finals. Stay with us.
Welcome back to New Jersey, Seaside Heights for stop number 6 on the IJSBA Tour. Todd Harris joined by Larry Rippenkoger. Larry, we're set for the sport class, and as we said at the top of the show, each week it could be a new rider. Tim Judge, Chris McCluggage, and a lot of other great riders chasing them.
That's right. These two seem to be trading blows now every weekend. You know, I'm going to have to go with McCluggage this weekend. Tim won last weekend. I'm going to choose McCluggage. These two seem to be trading off every weekend that way.
This definitely could go down to Daytona Beach. Let's go down to the line.
In the pole position, Tim Judge. Right next to him, Chris McCluggage. These are the two to watch. The start today is going to be ultra critical.
Very critical indeed, and both of these guys know how to get out the line. It looks like we have a clean start. Both riders out fast, and right now they are dead neck and neck, but it looks like Tim Judge is pulling away in the first turn.
It looks like Judge had just a little bit more top-end speed over McCluggage. He got the whole shot. Now it's going to be a battle between these two.
A definite horsepower battle as both of these riders are on the Yamaha Wave Blaster. Tim Judge going to that first turn, puts it on the rail, and he's starting to distance himself already from the pack. Both of these riders also from Florida. They've raced against each other for a long time, and both of these riders also have exceptional motocross experience, Larry, so we've got definite mirror images working here.
Mirror images there, but actually contrasting styles. Tim Judge, a very smooth, precise rider. McCluggage, on the other hand, goes for it. He hammers the throttle at every opportunity, lets it all hang out. Completely opposite in that respect, but they do respect each other's styles.
Mutual admiration indeed, except on the water when they both battle to the finish. Chris McCluggage will not let anything go to his friend Tim Judge, who is our race leader right now on the Yamaha Wave Blaster, the current defending national champion. And Larry, he rides like a skilled surgeon.
He does. He is very precise. Oh, and a big spin out by McCluggage, a drastic mistake. We saw that earlier in the preview from last week's show. Once again, he's done it. This time, though, he did not lose a position.
Chris McCluggage on the gas a little too hard. He loses a little space. No positions as Tim Judge, Chris McCluggage, Kevin Liebrick, Larry Ciasso, and Sean Sherman rounding out our top 5.
Beautiful overhead shot of Chris McCluggage charging after Tim Judge. He has got his work cut out for him, though. Judge is a rider known for not making mistakes once he's out on the race course.
In third place, Kevin Liebrick, another one of the up-and-coming young riders. And when people like Judge and Chambers move on, it's going to be up to McCluggage and Sean Sherman, David Derher-Bedian, and some of the other riders like John Papera and Kevin Liebrick to keep pushing on the sport class. However, no one's pushing harder than our current leader, Tim Judge from Florida on the 1X Yamaha Wave Blaster, and he is really distancing himself from the rest of the crowd, Larry.
Well, Tim has got that machine figured out both inside and out. He works at Riva Yamaha, his sponsor. He is his own tuner. He does all of his own two-stroke engine work, and he has got that thing flying.
Chris McCluggage hot on the gas, but after that costly spin out, he has lost valuable time, moved back in the chase, and even Chris McCluggage might have a hard time catching someone as skilled as Tim Judge.
And now we're going to take a look at today's tips on technique, the starting line positioning. Some riders like to stay back far away from the rubber band. There's a couple of things about this. The water's a little shallower, it's easier to get up in the tray, and there's much less risk of breaking the plane of the rubber band. Now we're going to take a look at what may happen when you do break that plane. There's Tim Judge closest to us. This is a rare mistake by Tim, but he tries to anticipate the start. You can see he stretches the rubber band out there. That is definitely a missed start. They are going to red flag this race and bring him back to the starting line. The penalty for this, of course, is a dead engine start, your hand on your head. And when that happens, you're going into the first turn dead last.
And it's very hard with competitors like McCluggage and Chambers and Liebrick, Siako and Sherman all out there chasing. And that's how our point standings are right now. But Tim Judge does not fall start in this race. We saw a beautiful hole shot from him, and he continues to lead this race. distance himself. His close competitor, who happens to be fellow Floridian, Chris McCluggage in the ProTech Yamaha right there, number 5, and he gets up in the full Pony Express riding position.
Chris does have that aggressive stance, very aggressive riding style. In contrast, Tim Judge looks very smooth, very calculated in every move out there.
And it's paying off for him today as he continues to lead the Sport Class Mod race number 2, looking very smooth. He's got smooth water. The next obstacle for him will be lapped riders, but right now he's got a clean shot. As we mentioned earlier, Kevin Liebrick continues to run in 3rd place, and he is on boat number 130, another Yamaha Wave Blaster, looking very strong every week. He puts in a strong performance.
Another strong performance by Tim Judge out in front, a consistent ride for him, but I'm not sure if he's aware of the fact that Chris McCluggage has made up a lot of ground since he spun out earlier in the race, and he is now reeling in Tim out in front.
And we've talked to Tim Judge earlier. He says when he has a lead, he tries not to run the machine full out. Well, he might need to get back on the gas because Chris McCluggage has taken the right side of the course. Tim Judge has gone left, and let's see how close he closes the gap as Tim Judge makes his way to the backstretch, hoping to distance himself from Chris McCluggage, who is always dangerous in these types of situations.
That's right, McCluggage, young and hungry. He is going to make Tim earn this race. He is not going to let him skate off to an easy win. He is chasing after him and gaining now virtually at every turn.
As we get a good shot from the Bud 1 airship, there's McCluggage and Judge leading the way. And this one's definitely going down to the wire as McCluggage continues to close the gap on Tim Judge. The 2 racers from the Sunshine State hoping to make this one a little more interesting. We will have more when we come back. Welcome back to Seaside Heights, New Jersey. Stop number 6 on the Budweiser Watercraft Series, the 1993 IJSBA National Tour, the West Coast Performance Nationals. Todd Harris along with Larry Rippenkroger. An absolute beautiful day here on the eastern seaboard just outside of Newark, New Jersey. We are at Seaside Heights, as we said, with the Bud 1 airship high overhead viewing the action. And we've got a great race in progress right now, the Sport Class. And it's Tim Judge and Chris McCluggage leading the way, followed by Kevin Liebrick, Larry Siacco, and Jeff Rear.
And right now we are looking at Art Chambers on the X2, last year's national champion, currently in 7th place, not a factor today.
Tim Judge is still our race leader, and that's what makes it so interesting about this specific class, Larry, is there's so many good riders on different crafts. You've got Chambers and Papera and Loophole on the X2, the rest of the class on the Sport Class, but all these riders are exceptional, but today Tim Judge is more than exceptional as he continues to lead the way.
Tim Judge looks like he's got everything under control, having a good day, but McCluggage not content for a 2nd place. He is chasing Judge down the back straightaway. Judge 44.8 miles per hour down that back straight. He is flying.
Very fast time for him, considering we are well into the race. A lot of choppier water. It's not like the first lap when they have the smooth water. He is starting to incur lap riders. He will be sucking up their wakes, not being able to go as fast, but still 44.8 is screaming down that back stretch.
And Tim, a great competitor, always keeps it in perspective, win, lose, or draw.
You gotta take everything else that comes with it. You know, you win, you're happy, but if you don't win, you can't go all sad and take it too personally. You know, that'll ruin you for sure. So I just try to take it, you know, nice and smooth, no stress.
1.5 laps to go for Tim Judge, and he will take home the checkered flag today. One of the all-time nice guys on the tour. He has got his work cut out for him because Chris McCluggage has got him in his sights.
Chris McCluggage is on the move right now. Judge is having a good day. If they can pull off the win here, he will take over the overall points lead. He trails McCluggage by 2 points right now, but McCluggage is making his move in. Judge is now tied up in lap traffic. McCluggage coming up from behind. He is all over Judge.
Tim Judge has barely escapes Chris McCluggage, who's right on his tail. You get a good shot of right there. He gets away from him momentarily as we see the white flag come out, as well as the blue cross flag. That gives the indication to lap riders to get out of the way. The leader's coming through, and Chris McCluggage goes wide.
It looked like Chris thought he was at the split in the race course. He started to go wide, a little bit of a brain fade there. Now he's at the split. He elects to go to the left. That was a costly mistake for him. We are on the last lap. He has got to go for it now.
Tim Judge goes to the right, Chris McCluggage to the left. This will definitely determine which side is faster, and it looks like Judge gets around the buoy to the backstretch first. He has spaced himself a little farther out, but McCluggage is still hard on the gas.
Down the back straightaway, Tim Judge encountering more lap traffic. McCluggage now, they have moved over for him. He is coming through once again. McCluggage closing the gap.
There's a shot from the Bud 1 airship as this one is definitely going down to the wire. Not as exciting at the start of the race, but Chris McCluggage, never count him out. He is pushing Tim Judge all the way to the finish line.
And Judge sits down, crosses the line, looks back and says, yeah, this day was worth it. A long, hard-fought battle, but I've got the points lead.
All right, that is definitely one of those races where one more lap could have made a big difference. However, Tim Judge holds on start to finish, gives the thumbs up to Art Chambers, a true champion as he makes his way back in the pit, and it is a big day for Tim Judge.
A clean sweep by Tim Judge, a big day. He takes over the points lead. You know he's pleased with that.
Tim Judge, pretty even keel, doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low, but he does move into the overall point standing after today. The final results, Judge, McCluggage, Liebrich, Siako, and Jeff Preer, a big stop. We'll be back with our winner.
Our next competitor comes to us from...
Welcome back to Seaside Heights, New Jersey, the Budweiser Watercraft Series. Todd Harris along with Larry Rippenkroger.
And an exciting finish to race number 2, the Pro Sport Modified class. Today's winner, Tim Judge, followed by Chris McCluggage, Kevin Liebrich, Larry Siasio, and Jeff Preer. Todd Harris is down now with Tim Judge.
Congratulations, Tim Judge. 2 big wins today. Did you know how close Chris McCluggage was in that last race?
Yeah, you know, he's always close. We're always competing with each other, and I learned a long time ago in racing, when you're out in the lead, run the boat as hard as you have to, because if you go harder, you're going to break, and you know, it just doesn't pay to get last.
You talked about sometimes when you're in the lead, you let off a little bit, but today, no chance of letting off.
No, we rode pretty hard today. You know, he had some bad luck in the first race, so I knew he'd come back hard the second race, and we had to go out there and deal with each other, and it paid off.
You always know that he's going to be there right there behind you?
I know that if it ain't him, it's going to be somebody else that's, you know, just as competitive, but he is one of the top competitors, and, you know, when I see him behind me, I know we got to think a little harder.
All right, congratulations. Prepare next week for West Virginia. Any new strategy changes?
My Riva Yamaha Wave Blaster doesn't really need any changes right now, but we're always playing, you know, always testing.
All right, congratulations, Tim Judge, winner of Moto number 2.
Thank you. Coming into this event, Judge trailed McCluggage by 2 points. Now the overall point standings after 6 events, Judge now leads McCluggage by 2 points.
Well, that will do it for Seaside Heights, New Jersey. Stop number 6. Next stop, number 7, West Virginia. Check your local listings. For Larry Rippenkroger, I'm Todd Harris. We will see you next time right here on Prime.